It's 2 p.m. Detroit, and you know what that means. Detroit media icon Ryan Ermanni, University of Michigan great Braylon Edwards, and of course, Maz are about to take over on Woodward Sports. Every day, 2 to 4 p.m., it's the best Detroit sports talk on Detroit's best sports network, Woodward Sports.
Hey, let's go! Friday show, May 3rd, 2024. Ermanni Edwards with Maz, Woodward Sports Network, woodwardsports.com, fox2detroit.com, or the Fox local app if you are watching live. If you're watching on YouTube, part of the over 64,000 subscribers on this platform, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, tell a friend about Woodward Sports. Braylon Edwards, good afternoon to you.
What's up, Ryan Ermanni? My apologies. I'm looking at my phone. The hip-hop community is heating up right now.
I'm telling you.
The hip-hop community is heating up right now. Beef left and right. I don't care if it's Quavo and Chris Brown. I don't care if it's all the people that Kendrick lined up to go against Drake or Drake lined up to go against Silent Mike, who's not so silent when it comes to this topic. We were talking off air. I want to get you involved. Who's winning right now? Obviously, Drake. Kendrick is the big one. We can get to everybody else later. Kendrick, Drake, there's been 3 rounds now, or is
Come
it 2?
on, Silent Mike.
Who's winning right now, Silent Mike?
Well, I'm going to classify everything that happened right now as round 1. I believe this is all still round 1.
Round 1 in the beef.
I believe
Kendrick Lamar.
Kendrick may have won this lyrically. Now, as for mainstream commercial, I'll give that to Drake.
So this is what I said. I think you're right as well. I think Kendrick has won both rounds. I think the problem is you have one guy that's dialed in as it relates to intellectual properties, and what he's bringing you facts, he's bringing you knowledge, he's dropping those gems, and I think another guy is just waiting for his boys, talking about Drake, to get him together, get in a room, and then come up with what they come up with. Yeah. But it's just different. If you notice the Drake community, which is everybody, right?
You know, Lions got in on this beef too.
They did too?
They did. See what they posted yesterday?
All right, we got to take a look at that. We got to definitely take a look at that. But with Drake, it's just easy punchlines. Like, he comes up with the punchline. He's like, oh, you got a 7-foot shoe. He was like, oh, who you stepping on? Yeah. And everybody goes crazy. Meanwhile, the stuff that Kendrick is saying is like, it's like, what?
Yeah.
He's just he's talking about there's a rat in the OVO family. So how you know you're not even working for me? Like, it's just.
Yeah, Kendrick really is trying to put on for the culture, I feel.
What can you just share with the people if they're not familiar with the beef between Kendrick Lamar and Drake? Why are they beefing?
So basically, Drake, J. Cole, top 3. Technically his top 3. Kendrick would be 3rd. However you want to rearrange those numbers, that's who's considered the top 3.
Take some notes, Tom.
In the industry right now.
Can't wait.
It's one of those 3. Well, Drake and J. Cole, they linked up. They did songs together. They did the tours together. And so in the midst of doing all that, they're talking about, it's us. It's not Kendrick's 3rd. They're kind of like not dissing him, but in a sense, am I right?
Kind of.
Okay.
Well, actually, Kendrick was supposed to be on the First Person Shooter song. Kendrick was supposed to be on there, and he denied the feature request.
So then that set them in motion.
Yeah, it set it in motion, and then he released Like That with Future.
Yeah, he did do that. But that was after they had already shot, though.
Yeah, that was after, and then Drake sent a cease and desist letter.
Oh, man.
Drake is one of those. Yeah, Drake is
really petty.
Drake is definitely petty. What did you make of J. Cole? And I know we'll get into sports later, but this is bad.
I was so disappointed.
So I was at Dreamville. Remember, I didn't come that Friday, that Monday. I was at Dreamville. Dreamville was that coming out in terms of the apology. So I'm sitting there front row with my lady. Shout out to Britt. What's up, Britt?
What's up, Britt?
He beat me to it. I'm like, because I'm old head. Like, I remember Nas and Jay-Z beef. Like, I remember Kool Mo D and Rakim beef, even though I was still super young. I remember NWA and Ice Cube.
That's right.
Yeah.
100%. No Vaseline.
What about Biggie and Tupac?
First off, 100%. I remember that one as well. I see you over there, Ryan Ermanni. I see you dialed in, Ryan Ermanni. 100%. Always was Team Biggie, but I just because I'm close to the East Coast. But I understood it, but I was pissed too. Because I said it wasn't a thing that was, taken away from the culture. It wasn't something that was violent. It wasn't something that was, oh man, you can't do it. It was cool, clean rap. It's like competition. It's like bringing it to sports, the NBA now. What we talked about the other day, how Anthony Edwards, SGA, these younger cats, they don't care about friendship. They're trying to get at you on the court. And that's what I thought it was doing. But I'm happy he did get out because now it's just getting to a point. Everybody's arguing and fighting everybody. And J. Cole was smart. Because now outside of Kendrick and Drake, it looks a little goofy.
Yeah, the whole situation is kind of goofy, but I understand Kendrick's standpoint.
Yeah, 100%.
It's basically what he did to Big Sean on Control.
Dang.
Yeah, shout out to Big Sean. That's my guy. But like,
Hey, the Knicks won last night. Yeah, you believe it? What a game, man! I mean, I could not take another minute of that series.
And I don't think you could take another minute of that discussion.
Hey, another minute of that series.
I guess that is Maz's way of telling us that.
Hey, the Leafs won, man. Did you see that? Wow.
Silent Mike, you and I talk
Mike,
after the
go to
show.
Game 7?
Mute Pete's mic?
We'll talk more after the show. Tom Mazaway, bring it to the Knicks, bring it to the 76ers, who got 86th. They're now the
Isn't that a cool sign? Isn't that a cool paper?
It is. It's a great paper. The 86ers, that was a New York Post.
The News this time.
The News this time. I
News.
go back and forth, but it was New York News. 86ers, they got 86. Man, just talk about Jalen Brunson. I want to ask you.
Wow.
And that is exactly where I was going.
The only thing wrong with him is his haircut. I can't deal with that haircut.
You know what?
Just shave it.
Okay, let me ask you a question, man. Does it matter when he's the only person since Oscar Robertson to have 35 or 10 or more in the same series?
Jeez.
Oscar Robertson started in 68. Jalen Brunson is 2024.
Isn't that something?
A lot of players in between that. Some stats matter. But Maz, is Jalen Brunson the guy that the Knicks needed and never knew they did?
Yes. And you called it way back when. And I'm like, no way. Not this guy.
I know.
And he
same.
showed,
I kind of felt the same way.
He showed out, man. And that Villanova trio that they got.
Yeah.
And, they don't have a big bench.
No,
so
they have no
all
bench.
these minutes that the Knicks are playing, it's going to cost them this year probably.
Is it?
I hope it don't.
I
hope it doesn't.
Because Thibodeau makes these guys practice for this.
I know he does.
Yeah,
he does.
That's
why he's gotten ousted in places because of the extraness.
It's absolutely right.
Yeah.
This is a Tom Thibodeau coached team.
Yep.
This is a Tom Thibodeau, Jay Wright coached team. You've got those 3 Villanova stars on there. If you're going to play for Tom Thibodeau, you're going to shoot to play for 82 games. Not 60, not 70. You're going to shoot to play for 82 games. You're going to practice every day. You're going to come to shoot around, and you're going to be conditioned to play 40 minutes a night. And that's what this team is doing. When are they winning? They're winning in the end. Yeah. And I know they lost Game 5 at the end.
That's because Tyrese Maxey had one of the greatest nights you will ever see in a playoff.
On an admitted travel by the NBA, who apologized and said sorry. He traveled.
But the Knicks should have fouled him.
No doubt. Yeah. But nonetheless, these guys are trained for this. This is like an old school, just to relate it to baseball. I don't know how ever to relate it. This is like having a starting pitcher throw a complete game every night.
You're right.
This isn't, they don't play with having your starting pitcher throw 5-6 innings and then you rely on your bullpen for the final 9 outs.
Yeah.
These guys go 40 minutes. They've been doing it all year long. And here they are in the playoffs. I don't think they're going to wear down.
I hope you're right, man, because the NBA is better when the New York Knicks are in it.
100%. They're one of the greatest events in terms of Madison Square Garden. They're one of the greatest arenas around, probably the greatest. But you bring up a great point. I'm going to connect it to the two. One, those guys, the Villanova trio, as we call them, 2 national championships they won, Brunson and Hart. They won, so they know how to win. Ryan, you talk about the state of college, and I was going to add him next. He was the MVP of the national championship game when they beat Michigan. He was the MVP.
He killed them.
But this is what you talk about in terms of college sports and how it's changed, and it's no longer with the NCAA tournament. These guys went to school for 4 years. These guys went to school for 3 years. These guys played on the same team with each other. They knew each other, and that's how they won in college. They just brought that same thing to the NBA. That's what you don't see anymore with these young guys. They know how to win. And in terms of playing so many minutes, look at DiVincenzo. He's a team-to-team guy. He's trying to show up so that he can make a name for himself, so he can get paid, so he can say, look at Josh Hart, another guy that's been with 4 teams, whether it's the Pelicans, the Lakers.
The Knicks paid DiVincenzo.
100%.
Way overpaid him, I thought.
Yeah, but still, you can get cut. At the end of the day, you got something going on. They like Tom Thibodeau. You know why? Because they're used to getting coached hard. Jay Wright and Villanova. They're used to this type of scene. They're used to this extra work, and they're used to being coached a certain way. These guys at college, this is what you talk about in terms of it's not the same. When it was like this, you get winners.
And when
did you see the total score of the series?
Yeah, it was 650 to 649.
1 point
And that's
difference.
something.
Wow.
And when you look, who knows when this thing's going to end for the Knicks? They play the Pacers in round 2.
Tough
the
matchup.
conference semifinals.
They'll
It
beat the
is a tough
Pacers.
matchup. I do believe the Knicks will win that series. I think they will give Boston a run for their money in the end. I think Boston is pretty talented. They got a lot of
No Kristaps Porzingis. could-
potentially. So, and they got some size. I think it ends with Boston. I would not be surprised. But where do the Knicks kind of go from here? How do they keep this run for themselves? Because you can't just plop a superstar into this particular lineup. These guys have, what were we just talking about before the show? Chemistry.
Right.
And there's just so many things that LeBron James wouldn't work in New York. Not in this version of it. Would Kevin Durant? I don't think so.
And that's why I disagree, and that's why I have my hands up. LeBron James won't work because he is the system. Wherever he goes, he's the system.
He ruins it.
He has to have his guys in there. It has to operate a certain way. He has to control the ball a certain amount of times. And it would not work with him, I agree. Kevin Durant, totally agree that it will work. Totally think it will work. And this is why. Wherever Kevin Durant is gone, he's been a hired gun. Like with the exception of OKC where he started, he's a hired gun. He goes to Golden State. He wasn't the leader of that team. He wasn't the guy that was having to make decisions. He wasn't the guy that the coach was leaning on. He's a guy that's out there making shots. The efficiency is there. He's a guy knocking down threes. These guys are creating mismatches. You got Steph's the guy. Draymond's the guy. He goes to Brooklyn. The same exact thing. He's not the leader. He's not making decisions. He's still dropping 29. Hold on. He's still dropping 29 a night. He's still balling. And even when the 1 year, if his foot wasn't on the line, he got that team to the finals almost without those other two guys. You send him to Phoenix. He's never been a leader. He's never been the one to drive the force, but you don't need him to be in New York because you got Jalen Brunson. He's a proven leader since he's been there in college, even in Dallas. The year they went to the Western Conference Finals in Dallas, Luka was injured for the majority of that. He helped the team get there. So you put him in there, he's a guy that creates mismatches. He knocks down shots. He's going to be efficient. He's worked everywhere he's been. It just hasn't necessarily worked around him.
Yes, but, and here's where the but comes in. Is he a Tibbs guy? Could he practice every day? Could he play 82 games a year?
He loves basketball.
Yeah.
He's a little different than the rest of the
superstars. Is he a New
superstar.
York guy? I mean, I know he went to Brooklyn.
Picked the wrong side of New York.
He did, but, he's, for lack of a better way to say it, he's pretty soft, too. Could he deal with the scrutiny of playing in front of those fans if, he has a stretch of games where he's not playing well and he gets yelled at or mocked or anything?
He's always
like
playing
that?
well, though.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying that player in particular is the one that I think would be the most ideal on the court.
Yeah.
But everything we were just talking about with that chemistry and the Villanova situation and Tom Thibodeau and what he demands of his players, I'm not sure that aspect of it fits, but we'll see. There's still a lot of basketball left, in these playoffs. 2 games tonight, last night as well.
Pacers eliminated the Bucks.
Boy,
that was easy.
The Bucks were one of the most disappointing teams.
Doc Rivers.
Yeah, but
again,
for Doc Rivers too, I mean, he was plopped into a situation middle of the year, and the best player on the team went out. And then the second best player on the team, who would be the best player on any other team, he went out too and was dealing with an injury. So I'm not sure where the Bucks go from here. I'm not sure if Dame stays there. I'm not sure if Doc Rivers stays there.
They got their championship. They're done now.
Yeah, it feels like everything is passed by Milwaukee.
It's over.
What it also seems like, and I know this is crazy, Giannis hasn't played these playoffs, Tom and Ryan, but remember when Giannis won? When he won the championship, he was coming off 2 defensive MVPs. He won the MVP. He won the championship. He won Finals MVP. It seemed like he would never go anywhere. To how they allow his brothers to be on the team, like I don't know how the heck the Thanasis Antetokounmpo is still in the NBA. He is not an NBA player, but Giannis is a superstar and once thought to be the number 1 player in the league, but never thought he was going anywhere. Milwaukee Bucks seemed like it was going to be a Tim Duncan situation, or just like the Nuggets, Jokic seemed like it could be forever. I don't know. if Giannis in Milwaukee seems like forever anymore. Dame won't be there next year. Dame's trying to find somewhere else. It's a reason why Budenholzer got fired. And Budenholzer gets fired and everything goes to, you know what? Wouldn't be surprised if Giannis was not a Milwaukee Buck in 2 years.
Well, I'll tell you who's not in L.A. anymore, and that's Darvin Ham, just fired. Darvin Ham, after 2 seasons, been fired by the Lakers. That is a Woj bomb.
Not his fault
right now, dude. It's not.
This is all. Just trace it. It's LeBron. Wherever he goes, he's the coach. He's the GM. He's the freaking owner. He's everything. This is all on him. And the Lakers in the last 3 years are exactly a 500 team. And they won on a 2020. They won against nobody in an empty gym. That's their championship. You can have him, man. I'm sorry. You can have him.
Even so, they fired the coach after they won the championship. Like, if you don't win every year, it's the coach's fault. Now, I feel a little something about Darvin Ham because, of course, he was on the 2004 Detroit Pistons. So, like, you feel like that's your guy a little bit, that was unfairly treated. They played hard. They ran up against Denver. I think Darvin Ham's biggest mistake was beating the New Orleans Pelicans in the play-in game. I will stand on that mountain and shout to the mountaintops and to the hilltops. The Lakers should have never won that playoff game. Because let somebody else beat Denver. If you lose that game, you could play OKC. You saw what could happen when you played Denver. They had, would they beat you 11 times in 12 games? Something ridiculous like that.
Yeah.
It's a terrible matchup. And by the way, and to a large extent, they outplayed Denver, just didn't have the horses. They couldn't
close the deal.
Could not close the deal. And not too many teams can. But you run into a situation like this where you see Minnesota now coming along. I would not be shocked if Minnesota beat Denver. I wouldn't be shocked. I'm not going to call for it, but I wouldn't be shocked. And then you know what? Go beat Minnesota in the Western Conference Finals. This is chess. It ain't checkers. And that move to beat New Orleans in the play-in game sealed his fate, sealed LeBron's fate potentially in L.A.
Where's he going?
I don't know. Maybe nowhere. Maybe he stays there. But who wants to go coach now? Who wants to go coach the Lakers?
So it's just a figurehead. That's all a coach is, wherever he is. It's a figurehead.
I would say it'd be a little bit of both. If you want to go back to the beginning, then yes, I agree with you being LeBron's fault. And the reason why I say that is because Bron got rid of players. Like, Bron's always late GM. And you talking about even before the championship, but after they win the championship, like, he let what's my guy name? He let Alex Caruso go. Alex Caruso, he came out and said, I wanted to take less to stay a Laker. You're gone, Alex Caruso. You're gone, Dwight Howard. You're gone, JaVale McGee. You're gone. You're gone, Casey Caldwell-Pope, who helped them win. And guess who else he helped win a championship?
He won another championship.
The Denver Nuggets.
And you know who the Lakers could use right now?
Casey
A
Caldwell-Pope.
lockdown defender at guard.
That can shoot.
That can shoot the
That
three.
can shoot, and that'd be Casey.
He would have been a good Piston. Oh, he was
100%, just like Chris Middleton, but also
he was
Tobias Harris. But 100%, I agree with you there. This year, though, it's the people you paid. It's the people you bring in. It's Austin Reeves. It's D'Angelo Russell, who's inconsistent and still immature as I don't know what. One night it's 25 and he's made 6 threes. The other night it's 2 points and he doesn't know where the hell to go with the ball. He's got 9 turnovers. Austin Reeves, you paid him a little bit prematurely. Think he's a good player, but you paid him prematurely.
But he's not a number 3.
Thank you. And they got nothing coming off the bench. They got nothing coming off the bench. So Darvin Ham, he had his hands tied because this offense and this roster was already set in motion before he got here. So it's a little bit of both. LeBron set it in motion. It finally came to fruition, and you saw how bad it is.
Remember Rick Bucher?
100%.
I forget. I thought Rick Bucher used to be on
NBA Insider
on ESPN.
Yeah.
He's on Fox now. I don't think I realized that. I heard him talking about NBA coaches and what they go through, the things that you don't see. And I never, in my mind, I never consider this ever. When people talk about the coach, he's like, you have no idea how little power an NBA coach has. You have agents telling coaches what to do. And those coaches have to do what the agent says to keep the player on that team. You have players saying they don't want to be on the floor with this guy. So different rotational situations.
It's a tough job. Man.
It is literally
it's a thankless job.
an incredibly difficult job that fans don't see that element. And I'll tell you, I never considered that in a million years.
Now, was it like
coach
this?
Really can't do.
Was it like this back in the day?
I don't know because this is
I
the
don't
first
think
I've
so.
heard. We don't know. I don't think we know, to be honest with you.
I think we do. I think that, and I could be wrong too. But I think the difference between now and then is back then nobody really was getting paid, and
That's it. You're right. Never mind. You nailed it.
Yep, nobody was getting paid. So the only way to get paid was I don't care if
The
I don't
coaches
like.
were getting
Right.
paid.
True, but I don't care if I like this guy or not. Like remember, AD and Isaiah hated each other,
Right.
each other. But when they got on the court, one was going to have 24,
Right,
the other was going to have
totally right about
26.
that. There was not one player that was making hundreds of millions more than the coach.
Nope, not at all.
You
So
know,
you had to listen to
There
the
was
coach.
an authority figure.
Also, too, like we understood differently. I think we gave them the respect. If a coach was your coach back, I mean, shoot, I played college in 2001, 2, 3, 4. I'm not that old, but if someone's your coach, then you give them the respect. Hey, this is the coach for a reason. I'm gonna rock with him. He's here for a reason. He's hired for a reason. So I'm gonna trust the tutelage. Like now, it's like, look, I'm getting paid. Well, how do you know the game more than me? Like, how do you explain to me why I should play with this person?
Right.
Explain to me why this play should work. The explain to me era is here. Explain to me why this works. I ain't got to explain nothing to you. Just watch the results.
This is a great topic, man. I never even really dove this deep into NBA coaches.
Yeah.
They truly have no power.
Zero.
Like you said, man,
Said
they're
very little
making
power.
they're making minuscule dollars compared to these superstars. Compared to even the worst player on the team is making more than the head coach. There's no more Phil Jacksons
Unless
in the league.
Unless you're Monty Williams.
Yeah, unless you're Monty Williams and you have a roster
And
like the
of
Pistons, a bunch of
18-year-olds.
kids.
Yeah, of 18-year-olds.
You know what I mean? That really don't have a choice but to listen to you. And when they do have a little bit of a voice,
It's over.
you know what they get. You know what they're going to do? They're probably not going to force out a guy like Monty because Monty's making too much money, but they're going to force themselves out. They're going to put themselves.
They'll scrub
in a
their
different-
social.
Exactly. They'll scrub their social. They'll get into a different, organization. They'll make life really difficult on the organization that they work with. Hey, while we're talking about last night, I want to get into the Patrick Beverley situation. Did you see that?
Yeah, thankfully he apologized, and the Bucks apologized today. That was bad.
Patrick Beverley threw a basketball at close range at a fan, not once but twice. And then afterwards, in the post-game scrum, one of the female reporters had her microphone in there, and Patrick Beverley asked her if she subscribed to his podcast. She said no, and he basically said, "Get that microphone out of my face unless you subscribe to my podcast."
Then she put it back a little bit closer.
Yep.
Not even close to him, and he's like, "Get that out of my face. Just leave my circle," he said.
Yeah.
Leave the circle.
Shoot her away now.
And she's a bigwig at ESPN, like a
she
very
is.
well-respected person, producer, anchor, the works at ESPN.
Now he called her today. The Bucks have called her today. She accepted the apology, and we'll move on. But Patrick Beverley may have played his last game in the NBA.
Yeah, not a good showing for Patrick Beverley. And I think, he's always operated under the same guidelines that he was a superstar. Now, this isn't even acceptable for a superstar. And I'm a former player, so this is coming from player to player. This isn't acceptable. Journalists have a job to do. The media has a job to do. She has a job to ask questions. She has a job to put her information up there. And your job as a player is to answer questions. It doesn't matter who subscribes to your podcast or not. That's a whole nother topic.
That's just a weird
about
question.
players and podcasts. But, excuse me.
Bless you.
Thank you. This goes back to the NBA. You can start with Draymond Green and what they've allowed him to get away with. Patrick Beverley, what they've allowed him to get away with for the last 5, 6, 7 years of things on the court, off the court, the comments, the shenanigans, and things of that nature. Like, they're creating animals that they can no longer control. Like, we sit here and say, like, yeah, he may have played his last game. They've helped create these monsters. Well, I don't want to say monsters. Wrong word. They've helped create these individuals.
An ideal.
Exactly. They've helped create these individuals and the things that they're doing and the things that they feel entitled to do. You can't pull the rug at this point, although you could. They're not going to pull the rug at this point. I agree with you. And also, 40 minutes and 6 points, you can't talk like this when you play 40 minutes and you have 6 points. You can't play when you have more fouls than points, damn near. But this is what he does. So PJ Tucker was another one. So it won't, because you created this. You've allowed them. The NBA and Adam Silver, they're not commissioners. They're just, they're managers. Hey, make sure he's okay. Hey, is everything okay in Golden State with Draymond? Don't suspend him. Don't be too hard on him. They've created these players.
Basketball, like I said, is my favorite sport to go watch.
Yeah, because you're right on top of the action.
You're right on top of the action. Yeah. I think the fans are a little bit too much on top of the action.
Agreed.
The people sitting there in their $5,000 seats with their legs out like Larry David did again.
And that what makes it, though?
I understand that. But if you say something to a player and you get on him, the guy could get mad at you. I guarantee he didn't throw that ball at that person for no reason. And he shouldn't have done it. But there's a point.
Two things can be true.
There's a point, man. You're too close, I think. It's too close to where the players are.
If you watch a game with no fans around the border of, it's a much different viewing experience. I think that's one of the reasons why people like to watch it, because of that closeness. You ever see the
when they're falling into the basket stanchion?
I think
you're falling on people.
I think that's part of the game. And have you ever been to an NBA game, ever played in the last 40 years, where a fan hasn't gotten on a player?
No.
Has one game ever been played in the last 40 years where a fan hasn't? No. You can't do it. Now, this is a much different conversation today. If that fan, after the second time, charged the bench, and then you have a brawl with every player and all the fans rushing.
Look at the malice at the Palace.
That's exactly what I'm. That's exactly.
But the player challenged. But to Ryan's point, the player challenged, charged the crowd. Yeah. He's talking about actual
fans,
patron charging the player.
Right.
Now it's a problem.
Right. You know what I mean? Like you get that ball thrown at you once. Okay, you get that ball thrown at you a second time. I'm just saying, if this was a different person that threw that ball towards, if this was somebody that had a screw loose, maybe it was like, you're not challenging my manhood like that.
What if he threw the ball at one of those Jokic brothers?
Right. I mean,
my God.
I'm just saying, like this could be a much different conversation today than the one we're having.
Is he getting sued?
If you didn't hit him, how you sue?
Because it's today's day and age.
You know what?
I mean, I don't.
You're absolutely correct.
Yeah.
They'll find a way to make it work.
I don't. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, he's gonna get sued.
He'll get some type of emotional distress. I was on TV and people saw me.
I'm embarrassed. I can't show my face anymore.
150,000.
They threw the ball back. My finger bent back.
Mm-hmm.
My finger hurts now. I got to go get operated.
Get out the way, and my neck.
He's getting sued.
Right. Now, does any, like that Knicks series we love, that series I think starts next Monday.
Oh yeah, you might as well take the whole week off.
Exactly.
Take the whole week off before
are you guys intrigued at all about any of these other, Dallas and the Clippers tonight? Dallas can close out the Clippers, and then Cleveland could close out Orlando, or Orlando could force a seventh game.
None of those series do anything.
Yeah.
Well, you know me, I like Kyrie, so I'm waiting to see Kyrie and Luka. I like Luka too a lot.
That could be a blowout tonight,
and I love it too, because I never was
Clippers.
I never was a James Harden fan. Never was a Paul George fan. I think he's supremely skilled, and before the injury, God knows what he could have been in this league, and he still is a darn good player. And then Kawhi is just one, you never see him.
Yeah, he's a ghost.
And so you're still living off the shot that he made against Embiid in the Eastern Conference Finals.
He won Toronto a championship.
And I was going to say the ring he won with the Raptors, and then obviously he beat LeBron. But outside of that, it's like I can't even remember his game. So I hope.
I barely knew what team he was on.
I think both these series get closed out tonight.
I hope so.
I think Cleveland.
Just finish them.
I know. I think Cleveland wins in Orlando, and I think Dallas wins at home.
It's bad enough. I'm going to a wedding this weekend in Nashville during the Derby.
The Predators.
And now there's a game 7 between Toronto and Boston.
Speaking of
what a weekend!
Speaking of tomorrow, we have got to talk a little Kentucky Derby. Maz is leaving early
got my
today.
sheets ready.
We have got to talk Kentucky Derby. Listen, there is no person on the face of the earth that is more passionate about any topic other than Tom Mazway on the Derby This is going to be a lesson that you didn't even know you needed. We'll do
21
that.
horses, correct?
We'll do that next.
20.
But first,
One scratch.
Tom Mazaway is the guest next because we are going to pepper him with questions. But first, a message from Swiss.
That's right, everybody. I do have some good news and some bad news, but now more than ever, it's critical for you to have your insurance reviewed, and Swiss will make sure that your carrier does not slip in extra fees or raise deductibles. Call Mark at Swiss Insurance today at 313-530-1698. SwissINS.com. You can visit them as well. Over to Braylon.
I had to take the shirt off so you can see the guns, so you know what time it is. When I say your fitness is essential at Planet Fitness right now, it's $10 a month. They stay true to that. Your fitness is essential. So come on and get yourself a workout in. 30-minute total body workout. They have that right in the middle, so you don't even have to come up with your own workout. You just come in, they plug, they place 30 minutes, you're in, you're out, and also it's home of the squeaky clean gym. You can take a shower, you can feel good about it. You can sit and think about the workout that you just had. Planet Fitness, remember to come on down because the fitness is essential.
You smell that? That's Brad Holmes cooking. And the off-season smells good. Woodward Sports.
Where's the most convenient place to get that big fitness energy?
It's Planet Fitness.
Join today for just $1 down, $10 a month. With over 2,400 locations and equipment for every workout, you can get in, get energized, and get going. And with free fitness training and most clubs open 24 hours, everyone belongs in the judgment-free zone. So join today for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, cancel anytime.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports.
Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, and claim your throne for a king's treatment from one of our talented stylists. Open 7 days a week, walk in anytime. Just get to a Lady Jane's today and receive a precision haircut, scalp massage, hot lather neck shave, and a hot towel treatment. A haircut should not be a chore. It should be an experience. And that's exactly what Lady Jane's has to offer. Open 7 days a week, walk-ins are always welcome. There's always a location near you. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Thank you to the Detroit Lions and Sheila Hamp for the best season in Lions history. Now it's time to let Brad Holmes cook. Woodward Sports.
Hey, gang, let me tell you about Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC. Looking for a new car, pre-owned car? Les Stanford has the right vehicle for your needs at the right price. They've expanded into Ferndale with the Buick GMC brands. That dealership located on Woodward, just south of 9 Mile. And if you're looking for a Chevy or a Cadillac, Les Stanford in Dearborn, where they have been on Michigan Avenue for over 55 years. You can find the brand you want under one umbrella. LesStanford.com, LesStanford.com.
Let's drive.
Let's drive over to Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Awesome is when a guy can be a guy and get an amazing haircut. That's Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Stop in, sit back, relax, and let one of Lady Jane's talented stylists make you look and feel great. You can walk in anytime, 7 days a week. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome. All right, now, one of my favorite things to do in life, by the way, just a quick update. I want to thank Ken Brown. Ken Brown, KB of WJR, posted in the chat. He hit the girl talking about Patrick Beverly. He hit a girl. She is suing. He threw it twice. So that is information that I did not see. I'll take Ken Brown's word for it. Absolutely. Thank you for that new information.
Some other people have probably sued too.
Yeah, right.
The whole bunch around them, around her.
Absolutely.
Yeah, what the hell? Hey, I'm affected. I'm suing.
It hit me too.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things to do in life is listen to passionate people speak about any topic they're passionate about. I don't care what the topic is. If they are passionate about it, I can just sit there and listen. And there aren't too many things that Tom Mazaway is more passionate about than the ponies, Braylon Edwards. And I'll never forget, I think we were at 105.1 back in the day. and you were talking about the Kentucky Derby, and you were talking about this filly, and you just broke out. She's gorgeous.
She's gorgeous.
And talking about
Look at her.
Talking about a horse, and it was at that moment where I just had to just sit back and just take notes, because that was a beautiful.
You like
moment.
that word, gorgeous, don't you?
I have ever since that moment. I have taken that word as my own.
Good man.
And I've used it since you said that. She's gorgeous.
Gorgeous. What an animal. What an animal.
So Pete Spivak, also a resident.
Degenerate.
Now, I've done a lot of gambling.
We're betting the races right now during this show, by the way. We are at Churchill Downs. We are gambling during this show.
Is that what your reaction was
a
minute ago?
Yeah, I got nipped. Freaking second. The favorite game.
I missed the exact.
I'm thinking you got a bad text that somebody died or something like that.
Yeah, my bet died.
But look, I've done a lot of gambling in my life. Trust me on this one, and I just never did the horse races. I just
you didn't grow up at a track.
No, I mean
I did.
I don't even understand it.
Oh, God, you would have loved it, man. Had you hung out with me,
I love hearing.
Oh my
you
God, you would have been part of the track pack.
I love hearing you talk about.
Oh my God, there's nothing
what
like
about you, Bray? You into the ponies?
I love watching the race. Like when it comes out, I know that's what the Preakness, the Derby, and then the Belmont Stakes. Is that the three? And
That's
the
the
trifecta?
three. That's the Triple Crown. Derby's
100%.
always first.
So
except
I
during
love
COVID.
watching it. I think I've watched maybe since
Like watching the Derby.
in terms of like actually being into the ponies. Unless
I know.
not unless it's one of those years where you're talking about a horse and then the horse wins the Derby. Now there's some momentum behind them to win. Belmont Stakes is next.
Preakness, then the Belmont.
And then the Preakness. You give me a horse that's 2 in, I'm dialed in.
No,
But
man.
I'm novice.
Right,
Super
same.
novice.
I'll tell you guys,
break
if
this
you,
down for me.
if you ever went to the racetrack, I'm just going to pick, just say Churchill Downs. Pete and I went about a month ago to Keeneland. Keeneland in Lexington, which is amazing.
Isn't that a track where they kind of breathe? They like practice before the Kentucky Derby?
Well, it was the Derby prep race called the Bluegrass Stakes.
Okay.
So we got to watch that. Sierra Leone won that race. If you go to a famous racetrack in the country, and there are quite a few of them. Unfortunately, we don't have any here in Michigan anymore. Don't get me started.
Hazel Park, baby.
Hazel Park, long live Hazel Park.
Northville
Downs,
What a
DRC.
shame.
Look at that. I know a couple.
It's a sin.
Such a shame.
Thank you to the casinos. Appreciate you guys. And the state of Michigan. Nonetheless, if you go to a famous racetrack, guys, and you take your wife, you get dressed up, and Braylon, you and Brittany would have absolutely had the best time of your life had you gone this weekend to Churchill Downs to dress. Today is Ladies' Day. Today is the Kentucky Oaks.
Wanted to go.
The filly's running that. Filly is a 3-year-old. You only run in these races once in your life. 3-year-old. Filly, they run on Friday. 3-year-old men, boys. Colts, they run on Saturday. Now, a filly can run with the boys, but a boy cannot run with the girls.
Unless it's, never mind.
Exactly. No, horses know what they want. Horses know. And then there's geldings and ridgelings and the whole 9 yards. Anyway,
I got it, by the way.
If you would have gone to the races, all the beautiful people are there. And now it's been taken over by the young college kids that are all out there, all having a good time. Everyone wants to own a piece of a great racehorse. But going to the track my whole life, it's just the best experience that I could ever tell you.
So
if you lose, I go home, I still don't feel
right.
bad.
So tell me, like, for instance, I'm going to a Derby party tomorrow.
Yes.
Like, I'm sure
I'm going to get you ready for the party.
I'm sure there's going to be, like, I don't know, do you pick a number out of a hat or something
this
like
is
that?
This is the program I printed
This is
out.
like a rumble party that's like this.
There are 20 horses. You'll see 21, but there's one scratched.
Who got scratched?
Encino is scratched.
Oh,
so
poor
Encino,
Now,
what
he
number?
didn't have to get put down, did he?
No. He couldn't run in the race.
Yeah.
What number was Encino, Pete? Let's see.
I'm glad
Encino?
that's
9.
funny to you, Pete.
So there's no number 9. There's
Okay.
no number 9 in the race.
So the
There-
9 stall is going to be empty?
The 9's empty. So everyone moves over.
Oh, okay.
So the 21 will be in the 20 hole. The 20's in the 19, so on and so forth. The favorite is number 17. His name is Fierceness. Fierceness looks like he is a monster. It looks like he will run away from the field. But he's got to have it his own way. It's got to be good times. There's 20 horses, a lot of traffic, a lot of things could happen on that kind of race. So you get bumped, all of that kind of jazz. The last 25 years.
Now, what does 5-2 mean?
5-2 means if you put $2 down, you win $5. So $7.
Okay.
5-2 odds. It's 2.5 to 1.
Okay.
Capiche?
Yeah.
3 to 1. You get a bet. 3 to 1 is $8.
So
that
that's
pays you
the
$8.
Sierra Leone.
Sierra Leone is a great horse. Not only that,
She got the best odds?
well, he's second choice at 3 to 1.
Okay.
5-2 is Fierceness. So the two favorites are Fierceness and Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone is running out of the 2-hole, and number 17, by the way, is Fierceness. No horse out of the 17 post has ever won the Derby. Just a little side note for you. That means nothing to you, or it can mean everything to you.
What does it mean to you?
It means nothing to me because this horse is so good. So good. It should be 17-2, and then you throw a couple long shots in after that. And I got one for you.
What's a long shot, man?
Forever Young is my first
I like
long
the
shot.
song. That's a great song.
I love Forever Young. And Catching Freedom, he'll be about 10 to 1, 11 to 1. He's number 4. That's my 4 horses. And then there's a gorgeous gray horse.
Tell me about the gorgeous
West
one.
Saratoga. He'd probably be 50 to 1.
Saratoga.
West Saratoga.
Number 13.
The only gray in the race. Always love betting the gray horses.
Number 13.
Number 13. So here's what you can do, guys.
Forever Young's from Japan?
Yes. He's come over from Japan via Saudi Arabia. He started in Saudi Arabia.
How does the-
went
how-
to Japan.
Has Japan ever won?
Japan has never won.
I didn't think
They're
so.
up
But
and
they're
coming.
closing in on us here in
Okay.
the U.S. And one of them is going to hit. This horse can win this race.
West Saratoga.
So 17-11,
And 4.
Catching Freedom.
Yes.
I like freedom.
You bet those 4 horses in a little exacta box, trifecta
17.
box,
What does that
superfecta
mean?
box. Exacta means out of those 4 horses, if you box them up, put a few dollars on them.
17.
Any of those, 2 of those
13.
4 horses come in, you win.
2 Sierra Leone.
If they finish first and second.
And Catching Freedom.
Trifecta is first, second, third. You got to hit the 3 of them. But if you put a 4th in, a 5th in, you box them up and hope you get a long shot to come in. And then the superfecta is you got to pick the first 4, which I love trying to do. I can't even pick 1, but I'm trying to pick 4. But those are my 4 for tomorrow, guys.
Okay.
So tomorrow at your party, they're going to have all these names cut up. They're going to be in a hat. Everyone's going to put in $5 or $10. So it'll be $100 in the pot.
Okay.
It'll be $5 times 20.
Yeah.
It's $100. So whoever you get, if your horse wins, you get a certain amount of whatever they're going to divvy up the pot at. So that's how you do a derby pool.
That's amazing. Now, go ahead, Bray.
I had 2 questions. One question, did I get the right numbers? 17, 13, 2, and 4.
No.
No.
Well, you told.
Yeah, 13 is the real long shot.
Oh, yeah.
Said
West Saratoga.
17-11, 4.
Correct.
Okay, so I was off by 1 then.
Yeah.
Well,
You can throw the 13 in there. You know who likes the 13?
Yeah, I got
Steve
you.
Johnson out here.
really.
All right,
Likes the
so-
You should
13.
have, Bray, you should have seen Maz and Steve Johnson over there at Lady Jane's talking.
Right.
I walk into the office today. They are talking. They got their papers
Got
up.
the sheets.
They got the booklets up, and they're going. They're playing right now.
Are you now? Bets have already been put in. Like P, how many bets did you put in?
Come on, Pete.
Already today.
Yeah.
Well, no, there's races going
today,
on right now.
I've already bet 6 races today.
And how have you done? How have you done?
I've won 2, lost 4, but I'm up $10 because my wins have paid me more than I've
Okay.
lost.
That's
Manage yourself,
beautiful.
saying.
I'm 0 for 2 right now, but I'm working on a win this next race.
Pete said, "Hell with it, I'm betting 60."
Now, Pete, you've heard.
Pete's more of a degenerate than I am.
Okay, well then you.
I have more love for it.
Right.
He's just a degenerate.
You love the horses
I do.
He loves
themselves.
the
I
money
love the
opportunity.
sport.
You
I
love the
it.
sport. You love the
Okay.
horses. He loves the betting
Yes,
aspect.
he's
of this.
he's a degenerate. No question.
Good for
about
you,
it.
Pete.
Absolutely.
Now,
I'm with you,
everything
Pete.
that Maz has been talking about with Forever Young and Catching Freedom and Dornock.
Dornock's another good one, Bray. You want the 1? Throw the 1 in your
Is that how you
exotics.
say it? Dornock?
Yeah.
Dornock.
Dornock.
Dornich.
He's a New York horse. I like New York horses. They haven't won the Derby in a while,
number
but
1?
I'm going to try him out.
Forever. Now, what is Now, what is the
He's the
jet
one
lag
horse.
for Forever Young gonna
Forever
be
Young's
like?
been here for like a month.
Oh, okay.
He's okay.
Pete, what do you make of what Maz has been talking about here with Forever Young catching freedom?
Called you a degenerate, by the way.
He knows.
Oh no. Well, honestly, if I were you, I would stay away from Forever Young. Maz forgets one big thing about the horses coming from the UAE Derby. They're 0 for 19 ever winning the Kentucky Derby.
Yeah, but they're getting closer, Pete.
That close counts in only horseshoes and hand grenades, not in horse racing.
Hey, I lost my Uncle Joe last week. I love you, Uncle Joe.
Love you, Uncle
The name
Joe.
of his boat is Forever Young. I'm sorry. I'm going with Forever
You got to
Young.
bet on Forever Young.
I'm going with
You
Forever
got
Young.
to.
So the hell with your odds and stuff like that.
Okay,
Uncle
then
Joe is
history
going to get
means
this one
nothing,
in.
bro. I see what you're saying.
Forever
0 for
Young is
19.
going to hit the board.
Oh, for the
I
love
got my
of
numbers.
God.
I got my
Book it.
stats.
No, let me tell you right now, guys. Maz and I, as we said, we were in Kentucky at Keeneland last month. Here, real quick, shot of Maz and I just outside the paddock there.
Oh, my God.
And then there you go. There's my new Facebook profile pics. Absolutely. But honestly, guys, if you want to see a good horse win this race, Sierra Leone, we both saw him win the Kentucky Bluegrass
he's a
Stakes.
winner.
He's a beautiful horse. But let me give you another horse. The horse that finished second to Sierra Leone, Just a Touch, the 8 horse. I'm telling
Just a
you,
what?
Just a touch.
Oh, I thought you said
The 8 horse. If this horse gets, if all the other horses get, destroyed on the front end, the fractions are too
call,
fast.
Pete. I missed you.
Just a touch is going to come from
Maybe
the
he
back.
knows more than you think.
Just a touch is going to come from about
call.
the 9th or 10th position, and he's going to like Pac-Man gobbling up the dots. He's going to gobble them all up towards the end in the last 200 yards. He actually could come from behind and win this race. He should be about 10th or 11th when they start running, and I love Just a Touch if you want a good, solid underdog.
Francis Fox. Francis is a good guy. He says, I hope no drug addicts pee on the hay. Because Bob Baffert, who was a
God.
fantastic trainer.
Did he win last year and he got in
No,
trouble?
he's been suspended for 2 years because his horses have failed drug tests. Now, Justify, who was a Triple Crown winner a few years ago, was a Bob Baffert horse. And then they found out that he had some like an illegal drug in his system, and Bob said one of his
You can't even get it out.
Bob said one of his grooms. A groom is a guy that takes care of the horse.
Yeah.
He said
He was doing a little blowski.
he said his groom must have peed on.
What?
He threw his groom under the bus.
And did he get away with it?
Is that like Len Fontes?
Exactly. Cocaine Wayne.
When Wayne Fonts got caught with cocaine, and he's like, it was my brother's. Now, Tom. Now, have there
Somebody won last year and they got suspended, man. Am I correct?
It's Baffert. He's still suspended. It's
But
his
he's still
second
winning,
year.
though.
No, they won't let him run. His horse is not allowed to run.
Somebody
in this
won
race.
last year and
let
got
him run.
suspended.
I'd have to think back, bro.
Now, how often are there big favorites like this? Is this considered?
There's always huge favorites. That doesn't mean they win.
Right.
Doesn't mean they win. 2 years ago was Braylon. He watched that race. It was
I called you.
the horse got in because another horse got scratched. Okay.
Rich Strike.
So Rich Strike, this 99-1 horse,
Oh my
gets in the
God.
field. He runs out of the 21 hole.
Oh my God.
And he wins the freaking race. Like he didn't even belong in the race, and he somehow wound up winning the race. You get great stories like that. It's so fun, man. Just don't bet over your head. Just keep the bets nice and easy, and have fun with it.
I'm looking on my phone trying to find the winner from the 2023 Kentucky Derby. It's right here. Mage won last year.
That's right,
Yeah,
Mage.
But didn't Mage get suspended?
No,
Okay, I thought Mage
no,
got suspended.
Mage is clean.
Okay, cool. All right.
Mage is clean.
Baffert.
Last year, I had Ken Cal at my house watching the race with us. And I had my friends Tim and Mike, and my whole family
I
was
called
there.
you. I called you last year, too.
And
I called
Ken's
you
there. We
before.
all chipped in because my friend said, I like this horse Mage. We all chipped in and bet Mage.
No kidding.
We all made good money that day.
No kidding.
Yeah.
What was Mage's odds?
I think he paid like $20-some-odd to win.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's just a fun day, guys. If you get a chance to go to a Kentucky Derby in your life, I highly recommend it.
Unbelievable.
It's once a year on the
Absolutely.
first Saturday of May.
Unbelievable. Now, Cartier says, Maz, you do realize some of these horses die of exhaustion after the race, right?
They don't die of exhaustion.
No, they don't. Cocaine Wayne should be an honorary sideline hype man, says AJ.
There should be a horse named that, Cocaine Wayne.
Jay says, is Maz's book it the same as Charles Barkley guarantee?
Ooh. No, yeah, probably.
Guarantee.
Probably. Gone fishing, by the way. After the race, Pete and I have what's the word I'm looking for? Something we do every year. What do you call that?
Tradition?
A tradition.
Yeah.
We watch our favorite race. We watch our favorite movie.
Let
It's
It
called
Ride.
Let It Ride. Richard Dreyfuss is in it. If you're a horse fan or you just love being at the racetrack, this is the perfect movie. You should watch that movie, Ryan, tonight or tomorrow before you go to this party. Let It Ride, Richard Dreyfuss, and look for Jennifer Tilly. You'll enjoy.
If I could come back as anybody in my life, like if you had like reincarnation or you could like go back and like be anybody, I want to be Tom Mazaway. I like growing up in the 70s in Jersey. Just going to the track.
Great.
Like seeing your old man.
Fantastic.
Flush.
The Sammy Maz.
Sammy Maz in the white V-neck T-shirt.
Franco Harris.
Dad, it doesn't count. The Immaculate Reception. Dad, it's not going to count.
Watching horse movies after the Kentucky Derby.
Boxing matches too. That was
boxing.
Boxing. That was the other one.
Going home on Wednesday night watching the replay of a game that was played 3 weeks earlier.
Like Maz might be on his own on that one.
I've been a non-smoker my entire life. Never smoked a cigarette, a blunt, nothing. And here's the places I grew up in. Racetrack, full of smoke. Bowling alley, full of smoke. Pool hall, full of smoke. Nightclub, I became a manager of nightclubs.
You did say that.
Full of smoke. That's my entire life right there in a nutshell.
Oh, my God.
You got some strong lungs, man. No secondhand.
Those lungs, man. God bless.
So funny.
So thanks for letting us talk about the Derby, guys.
Oh, my God.
We appreciate it.
I think that was very interesting.
It's fantastic. Have fun,
I
guys.
thought it was amazing.
It'll be on NBC tomorrow. Coverage starts, I think, about 5 o'clock. The race will go off about 7 o'clock.
So, Pete, who are you saying is your 10-1?
Well, you got to watch out for Just a Touch.
Just a Touch.
You got to the 8 horse. Absolutely. I'm telling you, man, if those horses burn themselves out on the front end.
I just wanted to hear you say the name.
I just wanted to hear you say
Just
it
a
again.
touch.
No, you didn't have to do that. You didn't have to do that now.
Got a little weird.
Yep. Now you ruined it.
I ruined it.
Now you ruined it. Unbelievable. Maz, in the final moments that we have you here.
The final moments.
Because Maz is leaving a little bit early.
My daughter, Maddie, is got her prom tonight.
That's
so
amazing.
I got to be home for her prom.
I love that.
Congrats to that.
God bless you.
Where did time go?
It's amazing.
Flying,
She was a
man.
freshman when
It's flying.
She was a freshman when we
Yep.
started.
It's flying.
Isn't it something?
It's unbelievable.
Wow. Congrats, man.
Now, what happens like at prom these days? Do you still get a limo, or do you still do you get driven? Like
Some kids do the limo.
Do they really?
Yeah, some kids do the limo.
I have not seen one limo on the road.
Most of them nowadays, they all meet at a place for pictures.
Okay.
All the parents go. We all take 1,000 pictures. Then they go to dinner. Then they go to the prom.
Okay.
That's how it works.
Now, is there an after party?
There's definitely an after party. Now, Maddie, I have to pick her up at 12:30 tonight.
Okay, good.
Because we leave for Nashville in the morning. Me and her. So her night is cut short tonight.
That's not so bad on
It's
your
a
end.
great night. It's a great thing.
Where did you do your prom night?
God, I don't really remember.
Oh, I got a great story for you on my prom night.
Go ahead.
Okay, I take this girl. She was a junior. I was a senior, but she was really, really pretty.
That's how most seniors did.
Yeah, really pretty. I take her. We have a great time. Blah blah blah. So I'm there at the prom. We're all dancing, having a good time. And I see her making eyes with a guy that me and him really didn't get along together. So I'm like, okay, let me be on the lookout for this. So now we go to this nightclub in New York. We leave Jersey, take the limo to New York. We go into this club. Before you know it, he's with her, she's with him. I'm standing there with my buddy. Just me and him just standing there like a bunch of jerks. And me and him, I went up to him. I'm like, I got to go up to him. I go up to him. I'm like, let's go. We went out. We went up the. You have to go up the steps. It was literally like in a basement. This
No
club.
kidding.
And in New Jersey, they used to have the shutters to open up the street to go into the basement.
Oh, okay, I know you're talking.
You
I know
get
exactly
it?
what you're
Yeah,
talking. 100%.
I know exactly what you're talking
We
about.
walk right outside. We go up the steps. I am so freaking pissed. He's in better shape than me.
Shocking.
His dad's a chief of police of Guttenberg, New Jersey. He's one of those kids. I hated this freaking kid. Jim Malik was his name. And
Screw you, Jim Malik.
We duked it. We duked it out. A couple punches here and there, and then they broke it up.
Oh, hold on. Who won this fight?
I'd call it even.
Okay.
And that's how it's supposed to be?
Yeah.
Like, you do what you got to do for a couple of minutes,
and that's it.
and then they break it
He
up.
went in with her back to the club. Me and my friend got in a limo, and we sold the guy home, James.
Now,
His name was James, too.
You ever talk to the girl ever again?
No.
Never again.
No.
She never said, "Hey, I'm really sorry
No,
that I."
never talked to her again. But
You know.
I made
She's probably a hooah.
she was a hooah. So I dated her sister Sandy later on, like
Good
2
for
years
you.
later.
We'll get back.
Yeah,
Good
so
for
a
you.
little bit there.
That's the exact way to do it.
So that's how
Good
my
for you.
prom night went. I lost a girl to a jackass, and that's okay. Here I am.
Good for you, Tom.
Good for you,
We're happy
Jack.
you're here. Well, have fun with Maddie tonight. God bless her, and
Thanks, guys.
have fun in Nashville as well.
Thank you.
Will you
I'm
be
glad
able to
that-
watch the ponies?
I
tomorrow?
am going to. I promise you. I'm not going to not watch the race, and I'm going to watch the Toronto, the Maple Leafs.
Who do you like in Game 7?
I want the Leafs to win. I think they're going to break the streak this year and beat Boston in 7.
What about tonight's hockey games? You going to watch tonight's hockey games?
Of course I
Who's
am.
playing tonight?
I got it right here on the front sheet here. 3 o'clock. Here it is. NHL Playoffs. We got the Canucks up 3-2 at Nashville. I think Nashville ties that up. It goes to 7. And the Stars, they're up 3-2 in Vegas. Vegas ties that up. You're getting 2 Game 7s on Sunday.
Look at you, Jack. All right, Tom. We'll let you go. But first, a message. We got. We'll go to the NFL next. Some great videos. Great videos regarding the draft. We'll do that next. But first, a message from us here at WSN.
That's right, everybody. Head to shop.woodwardsports.com and you can grab yourself some of the latest merch, including the 775,000 Detroit Lions NFL Draft Day t-shirt, now available at shop.woodwardsports.com. Grab all the hoodies, the tees, and the hats that are guaranteed to turn heads. Again, head to shop.woodwardsports.com and load on up. We shall be right back. Oh, are you still there? Oh, okay. Well, then let's head over to Maz.
Let's go. You know what it is. Premier Pet Supply. It's Michigan's #1 pet store. Family owned and operated for over 30 years. 13 Metro Detroit locations and 60 brands of food at the lowest prices available, and curbside delivery if you need it. They got nutritionists on call if you need that. Give your pet the best. Don't settle for less. It's PremierPetSupply.com.
Congratulations to the real Coach of the Year, Motor City Dan Campbell.
Just put your head down and go to work. It's about to be fun, man. It's about to be fun.
Woodward Sports.
Where's the most convenient place to get that big fitness energy?
It's Planet Fitness.
Join today for just $1 down, $10 a month. With over 2,400 locations and equipment for every workout, you can get in, get energized, and get going. And with free fitness training and most clubs open 24 hours, everyone belongs in the judgment-free zone. So join today for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, cancel anytime.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit sports.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Braylon Edwards here, Premier Pet Supply. Man, just looking around, who's got it better than pets? Come on, a baby stroller for Coda? chef for Lola, really? You don't have to tell me who the real boss here is. Who's got it better than pets? Nobody, especially here at Premier Pet Supply. For over 30 years and more than 13 locations, Premier Pet Supply has everything that your pet can dream of, and guess what? It's all under one roof. Premier Pet Supply, family owned, operated, and proud to call Metro Detroit home. Check out premierpetsupply.com or scan the QR code today. Who's got it better than pets?
Nobody! A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
I keep telling you it's only for a limited time. You better listen to me. The Nashville Hot is back at Soroki's, but for a limited time. You got the chicken, the pizza, the fries, and the chicken sandwich. Fire. And I do mean fire in both ways. Soroki's been doing it for a long time, but the crispy chicken and pizza, that's their staple. That's why you want to go. You don't necessarily need to get the heat. You can just go and get that crispy chicken, because what's better than crispy chicken and pizza? I tell you like this, nothing. Zilch, nada. And they also have amazing sides. They're fresh, and the salads are as well. And as our good friend Maz, who just left for Maddie's prom, fountain sodas are the best in the business. Go to Soroki's. You'll like it.
Welcome in. Yeah, absolutely. Welcome in. Hour number 2 of the program here on a Friday. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards. We got Silent Mike. We got Pistol Pete over there. And we've got you. We appreciate you being along with us on a Friday, whether you're watching live or on delay. Thanks for making Woodward Sports part of your day. NFL rookie minicamp starts today for 5 teams, believe it or not. 5 teams start their rookie minicamps. The NFL season is incredibly efficient when it comes to how the calendar is built. So you got the Eagles and the Green Bay Packers, the Ravens, the Jets, and the Seahawks. I think that's the Seahawks helmet that I see. Yeah, it is. Start their rookie mini camps today. For the Lions, Bray, next, their offseason calendar has been set. This from Tim Twentyman. So Lions OTA and minicamp schedule next Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. They'll have their rookie minicamp. Then the OTAs in May, 2 weeks in May, 1 week in June, and then the mandatory minicamp for everybody, June 4th through 6th. This offseason workout, for people that don't know what goes into this, Braylon, describe an off-season rookie mini. Let's start with the rookies, the rookie mini camp first and foremost. How much work is done in a classroom setting to just brush people up, or not brush people up, get people acquainted with the playbook?
You know what? I'll give you that answer in a second. Can I actually talk about the 5 teams that have already started?
Please.
I think you look at those 5 teams and you say, why are these teams starting a little bit earlier than everybody else? And when you look at it, it's the Eagles, it's the Jets, it's Seattle, and then it is Baltimore. All had disappointing season with except the Packers. The Packers we talk about, they want to get this team going. They got a young team. I think that's why the Packers are starting early. They already have a young team. Now you're adding more young players, and you can see Packers were this close to being a team in the NFC Championship. So I think that's why they're starting early.
And international travel games, too, early on in the season. Yeah,
true, the Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City Chiefs are at least, I guess, because they are the world champs. But the Eagles, disappointing season, trying to figure out what's going on there in Philadelphia. I think that's why they start early. The Jets, we know it was chaos after Aaron Rodgers got hurt last year. It's still chaos. I love my team, but it's still chaos. And then Seattle, disappointing season. Geno Smith, not same quarterback. And then you look at Baltimore, disappointing season. So it seems the teams that have disappointing seasons, they want to get started a little bit early and get those guys ingrained to what their system will be. But in terms of what a rookie camp is, Ryan, it's a lot of classroom stuff, man. You get the playbook that was used or that's going to be used.
How many people, sorry to stop, how many rookies do you have in camp? All the people that you sign on undrafted free agents, is it like 20?
It's usually around 20 to about 25 guys.
Okay.
Yeah, because some teams, like you look at a team like, was it the Rams or whoever had 12 picks? So then you mix that with some undrafted players that you're going to try to figure out, like, can they make it to your mini camp? And then from mini camp, can they make it to your training camp? But just around this time, a lot of classroom stuff, a lot of learning the plays, learning what the system is so you can go over your play, so you can learn that. A lot of working out, want to get you ready for the season. So the strength and conditioning part about it, a lot of getting in shape, lifting, a lot of running routes, a lot of getting used to the position that you're going to play, a lot of skill, a lot of drill stuff. But it's a lot of film sessions, just watching films. You're in there asking questions or they're quizzing you. So it's not necessarily the most fun, but the fun side of it is when you meet other rookies. You know, last year you get Jahmyr Gibbs and you get Jack Campbell. Jack Campbell already knows Sam Laporta. So, you know, you have that Green, the wide receiver from North Carolina. It's just meeting the guys that come in with you. Like I remember meeting, you know, Brodney Poole, who's a second-round draft pick. Brodney Poole, Charlie Fry, Antonio. What was Antonio's last name? I guess I didn't know him that well. No, I'm just joking. But you're just meeting the guys, you're hanging out, because these are going to be your friends as you get used to a new city. Remember, most of these guys aren't playing in the cities that they're from or the colleges they went to. So you're just trying to make friends because the upperclassmen, or in this case, the guys that are already on the team, they're not around to help you go through this process. They're not there till they have to be.
And I'll tell you, two guys that will be at the rookie minicamp next week are the first two picks of the NFL draft for the Detroit Lions. Round 1 pick Terrion Arnold, and then you got Rakestraw in round 2. Here's what Mina Kimes and Field Yates said about the Lions' new cornerback duo. Going to play that audio for you.
The Lions came into this draft, I think, with probably one of the more glaring and obvious needs of any team drafting, which was they needed to fix their pass defense. They needed to add cornerbacks in particular. Not only did they add cornerbacks, they double dipped at the position, and I think we both agree, took corners that were unbelievable values at where they took them, even accounting for the trade, and are perfect fits for the identity of the defense and the scheme that Aaron Glenn wants to run.
They're both Lions. They're both quintessential Lions. The Lions are looking for like a bit more dog in their corners, right? They want guys who are just as likely to come up and blow up a wide receiver screen in the line of scrimmage as they are to play like silky smooth man coverage. And rather than getting one of those, they got two in Terrion Arnold and Ennis Rakestraw. Rakestraw was the 32nd player on my board, Mina. So going 61, you know, at least in my eyes, is a very good value. I felt like when I watched both those guys on tape, they could both scoot, and maybe I'm going to look back at this evaluation differently at the end of this upcoming season. But the speed was not the deficiency on tape in my eyes that it would suggest based off of where they both ended up going relative to mock draft forecasts. But both of these players should or could start right away.
Yeah. I went back and looked at my notes for both of them, and there was really like some of the same words were appearing. Sure. Both compress. Yeah. Both blow up screens, you alluded to. Both arrive downhill in a hurry. Both can tackle. Yeah. Tackling.
And, you know, Braylon, these two picks specifically seem like they're universally beloved by so many people. You take what many people believe are the two best corners in the draft, and you put them on a team that had a real weakness there, perhaps their weakest unit on their team.
Yeah, 100%. They had a definite deficiency at the cornerback position. You look last season. The last 6 to 7 games of the year they were ridiculous in terms of the yards that they were giving up to quarterbacks, wide receivers. Some of those quarterbacks were on money, like Nick Mullins, like really 400 yards to that.
Twice.
Twice within 3 games, I want to say. But you knew you needed players. They went on, they got Amik Roberts. They went on, got Carlton Davis a second, trying to figure out what he's going to be for us at 2 or 3, 2 or 1. Then they went in the draft, and they said, we're going to not double down, but we're going to quadruple down. And they went out and they got Ennis Rakestraw, and then they got Terrion Arnold, the biggest pop that we've ever seen at the NFL draft. The thing you heard Phil Yates say, though, is that they're Lions. They're Lions. They're Lions. And then Mina Kimes, who I respect, don't care what people say, I like Mina Kimes, especially as it relates to NFC, especially as it relates to NFC West. But Mina Kimes, man, she hit the nail on the head too, man. These guys were high up on those draft boards in terms of what their value was, not necessarily where they were going to be drafted. So they went out and got Lions again, but they got Lions that can play. I told you, Ennis Rakestraw was going to Alabama, but at the last minute, decided he wanted to go somewhere where he can build a culture. He felt like he didn't want to be a plug-and-play defensive back at Alabama. They've had a ton of good ones over Nick Saban's career as a coach there. So he just wanted to go somewhere else. He went somewhere else, and he still had the same impact, hence to where he was drafted and hence to where he was ranked by a lot. Phil Yates had him ranked 32. So if Phil Yates was right, Terrion Arnold and Rakestraw, they're going to be darn good players for Detroit Lions. Brad Holmes and his system, that's why you got to keep giving him respect, man. He likes the players that are going to fit into a culture. And I always go back to Ann Arbor. I always go back to University of Michigan. There were a lot of 5-star players that Jim Harbaugh and Michigan passed up on. There are a lot of 4-star players that they could have had or they could have went after, but they passed up on in terms of recruiting. Obviously, a recruit has to choose where he goes, but they didn't even try to recruit certain people because they're looking for certain players. It worked in them for a national championship, and I think you're seeing it work for the Detroit Lions to the tune of NFC championship appearance last year, maybe more this year.
Want to give a shout out to B. Walt, who is up at 4 a.m. watching in Okinawa, Japan. Says he loves this show. We appreciate you, B. Walt.
Oh, definitely appreciate
all the
you.
best.
Shout out to
Thanks.
Japan.
Thank you for that comment. That really is something. For the Lions, this is an interesting group too, because did you see Brian Branch's picture when he met Terry and Arnold? He's in a boot on a scooter.
Oh, I did see it. Right.
You've got Kirby Joseph, who had hip surgery. He won't be ready for training camp. We have no idea really what the deal is with Brian Branch's injured foot, we believe.
We still been trying to figure that out since the playoffs.
Exactly. You could never have enough defensive backs. And, what Mina Kimes said about their Lions, or maybe that was Field Yates said their Lions, it kind of goes back to exactly what we just talked about in the start of the show when it comes to the New York Knicks. These organizations now, there it is right there. That's Brian Branch. Great job, Pete.
Friends that know each other, obviously, through Alabama.
Absolutely. But these organizations, the Knicks haven't won a championship in 50 years. The Lions haven't won a championship in 60-plus years. These organizations have found their niche, I should say, about how to build a winning team, build a winning culture, build a winning organization. And it's by getting guys that are kind of in line to their personality, to their culture, to the people that they want to be around them. The Lions took a couple of players that they saw. They signed free agents in the offseason that fit who they are as people. And, of course, who they are on the football field. But it goes to, can they mesh in the locker room? What about, the Knicks? Kind of the same way. We talk about what they're going to do in the offseason. Could you just plop a superstar in there that feels like a group that you just can't do it? And in these organizations, once you figure that out, once you figure out, A, who you are, but then B, who you want to be included in that group, I think that's a little bit of a blueprint for how long-suffering franchises can get it done.
Yeah, well, the New York Knicks and the Detroit Lions have come to realize that one player doesn't make a franchise. One player does not change the culture. And look, I know there's some great players in the NBA, but one player doesn't change the culture. Those days are long gone. It takes 3 superstars to even be in contention for the Eastern Conference Finals or the Western Conference Finals. The Knicks, whether it was luck or not, because Dallas Mavericks, they dropped the ball with Jalen Brunson, and that's completely on Mark Cuban. Mark Cuban doesn't make a lot of mistakes, but he made a mistake with Jalen Brunson. Whether they got lucky or not, Ryan, to your point, they figured it out. They got Josh Hart over there. They got DiVincenzo. They paid DiVincenzo to come there. They paid Jalen Brunson to come there, and it's worked. You've seen that dynamic, and you got to be a fool. You got to be a fool to see what Tom Thibodeau and what their organization are doing is not working. I mean, it's working. You got to be a fool to see how it's working. You got to be a fool to see if you can't see the guys are playing together. Guys are selfless. Guys are going out there and giving all for the Knicks. Same thing with Brad Holmes and the Detroit Lions. It's a selfless team. It's a selfless organization now. Like, they're picking guys that want to come in here and play to win. And when you win, like we always talk, when you win, everybody gets a piece. Like Amon-Ra St. Brown, Penei Sewell, Jared Goff eventually. Next year, it'll be Aiden Hudson. When you win, everybody gets a piece. So they're bringing the right guys in that culturally care about the Detroit Lions, about the city of Detroit, and about, representing that name on the back and on the front. That's what it seems like.
Did you guys do this yesterday, Amon-Ra St. Brown's salary breakdown?
We did. We can do it again. We did.
I was just you mentioned Amon-Ra St. Brown.
That's why players want to go to Florida.
And I couldn't even fathom it. Like, the big headline that you see in terms of salary is not what you're taking home. For those of you that maybe weren't watching, forgive me if this is repetitive for some of you, but Andrew Petcash, who is breaks down the business of athletes and NIL, over 100,000 followers on X, said, here's how much Amon-Ra St. Brown will actually earn on a $30 million a year salary. Granted, $30 million. Pay $11.1 million in federal tax, $900K to an agent, $894,000 to a jock fee, $703,000 for FICA Medicare, $637,000 for the Michigan tax. He will take home $15.7 of the $30 million. That is incredible.
Been there, done that, and when they finally explained to me, Ryan Ermanni, when I was a rookie, and then again when I got paid as on my second deal, if you will. What? Absolutely what? And we broke it down yesterday, and we basically said is whenever you talk about millionaires or athletes, the people tune out. The average man or the working man or woman.
Yeah, nobody's feeling sorry. Nobody listening to this is feeling sorry for Amon-Ra St. Brown taking home $15 million except me.
But I did. But I said the same thing yesterday, but I disagree. The people in the chat yesterday, they tune in and say, look, that's BS. Like, I don't care what you're making. If it says 30 and you're taking home 15.7, Ryan, if somebody owes you $30 and then after you get it, it's $15.70. A lot of things different you have to do with that money. $30, got a couple more options. $15.70, those options tend to change.
That's why I like, when kids get their first jobs, they get that first paycheck.
It's gone.
And they're like, what? They're like, welcome to America.
Well, this is America.
Right?
This is America.
But man, oh man. You know what the jock tax is? By the way, I did some research on this
Sport
morning.
tax?
So the jock tax is an interesting one. If you go earn money, Braylon Edwards lives in Michigan, plays for the Detroit Lions, goes and plays a football game against the Los Angeles Rams.
I got to pay that tax. Yeah,
you got to pay that tax.
I didn't know. So I didn't know it was called the jock tax. I know what that is.
If you go play the Bears in Chicago,
Illinois,
you got to go pay Illinois tax. Now this came.
I'm in court with California right now. This little tidbit.
This started in 1991 when the Bulls played the Lakers in the finals, in the NBA finals. The state of California said, "Hey, Michael Jordan, you're earning money in our state. You're going to pay us tax." So that's kind of how the jock tax started. And then, you know what happened? The state of Illinois instituted the Michael Jordan revenge tax, they called it. And
they doubled?
Well, it was the jock tax when you come
to California. So everybody's got a different name for it?
Yeah. So Steph Curry, in the article that I read kind of broke down Steph Curry. In the NBA, you play 41 road dates. You play 20. He paid 20 different states over $1 million, like total, over $1 million. But you had to pay tax in 20 states over $1 million for playing in that particular state. Isn't that something?
It is. Like it's one of those things where I think is unnecessary. Like, and I've always thought it was unnecessary. Once I found that to be true, first experience I had with it was California. I understood that when I was in Cleveland. I was like, wait, I got to pay taxes because we played the Chargers?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, it behooves me. But, hey, man, like you said, this is America. What can you do? To me, it's dumb, but where does that money go?
Well, we're to the roads.
You talking about the same roads they've been working on since I was 11?
To Ukraine.
That's where it goes. That's where it goes.
Sorry.
Like, hold on. Sorry. Ryan, I was coming in today off 96. So I take, 96 into 696. It turns to Telegraph, whatever. I'm like, they've been working on 96 since I was 10. Like, they've been working on Maple in between Orchard Lake and Farmington every year. It's the same thing. It's the same area. When John Engler was the governor, he was doing the same things that Big Gretch is doing.
Right.
Anyway,
dang.
I digress.
Guys, we'll take a break. When we come back, I want you to hear some draft videos. These draft videos are great. Howie Roseman working the phones. Keon Coleman's pre-draft interview.
He's great, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely. You're going to hear from Falcons head coach Raheem Morris. All that and much more. But first, a message from Guardian Alarm.
That's right, everybody. What happens when you see that black and yellow sign out in front of your house? It tells the bad guys one thing.
Stay out.
That's right. It is a new year. Let Guardian Alarm offer you customized solutions from real experts, 24/7 professional monitoring, and technology backed by people. And that technology has been proven to work, and those people have been proven to care. So call 1-800.
Stay out.
That's 1-800.
Stay out.
Call them today and tell them Woodward Sports sent you.
Stay out.
We'll be.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Any Lady Jane's haircuts for men and claim your throne for a king's treatment from one of our talented stylists. Open 7 days a week, walk in anytime. Just get to a Lady Jane's today and receive a precision haircut, scalp massage, hot lather neck shave, and a hot towel treatment. A haircut should not be a chore. It should be an experience. And that's exactly what Lady Jane's has to offer. Open 7 days a week, walk-ins are always welcome. There's always a location near you. Lady Jane's haircuts for men, it's wicked awesome.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles, and with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit sports.
Braylon Edwards here, Premier Pet Supply. Man, just looking around, who's got it better than pets? Come on, a baby stroller for Coda? A chef for Lola? Really? You don't have to tell me who the real boss here is. Who's got it better than pets? Nobody, especially here at Premier Pet Supply. For over 30 years and more than 13 locations, Premier Pet Supply has everything that your pet can dream of, and guess what? It's all under one roof. Premier Pet Supply, family owned, operated, and proud to call Metro Detroit home. Check out premierpetsupply.com or scan the QR code today. Who's got it better than pets?
Nobody! You smell that? That's Brad Holmes cooking. And the off-season smells good. Woodward Sports.
Still talking about the NFL draft. Daniel Jeremiah, how about this? We talk about these mock drafts. People want to complain about them and say that everybody doesn't know what they're talking about. I think this is a pretty darn good thing. Daniel Jeremiah from the NFL Network put out his top 150 players in the draft. How about 128 of them went in the top 150? Jeez. 85% of the players that he pegged as the top 150 went in the top 150 picks of the draft. He's got over 80% in the last 5 years. 80% last year, 84% in 2023, 85% in 2021, and 84% in 2020. I'd say that's pretty darn good.
Yeah, people out there asking, what does that mean? Well, that means he can get paid. That means that when you look at his mocks or when you look at the players that he's choosing, the players that he's grading, the players that he's vetting, these are the players that are getting drafted. These are the players that the teams, the franchises are also looking at. So sky's the limit when you're talking about that for Daniel Jeremiah and NFL Network. He can use that to leverage that. He can get paid because he's right. Now, you look at 128 players out of the 150 that he picked, they get drafted. I know it's easy to sit here and say, well, I can sit there and get – no, you can't. No, you can't. Like, you look at Ennis Rakestraw and the names like that, like Sione Vaki and names like that. So that's tough. 85, and it's going up, Brian.
Right.
If you notice the numbers, unless I read it wrong, he's getting better.
Yeah.
Last year he was 82%. This year 85.3.
Pretty remarkable,
That's a
man.
major upgrade.
Just
Not
in your,
upgrade, but
just in your evaluation of talent.
that means you're watching. You know what? That means you're putting in the time.
Yeah.
That means you're watching film. You're watching the good games. You're watching the bounce back games. You're also vetting the system. You're watching players. That's tough. It's a lot of hours, a lot of grueling hours to sit there and watch film. Look, watching film on other teams was one thing. He's sitting there watching player after player after player. You really got to love what you do.
No doubt.
Yeah. I'm not watching 150 players.
Right, yeah. I mean, I have no interest in watching 150 players. I have no interest in really scouting or breaking down 150 players. And that is probably watching 300 players and then ranking your top 150.
If not more, yeah, you're right.
You know?
'Cause you got to watch it and then, okay, well, you know what? This guy doesn't make the cut. This guy is close. This guy doesn't make the cut.
Just
too much time for me.
Having some sort of system where you can rank these players. I mean, we do a top 10 list. You do a top 10 list, and sometimes your head hurts just thinking about that.
I'm like, man, I'm over it. Like, give me a break. But also, too, this tells you, I guarantee you, a lot of NFL teams are using Daniel Jeremiah. Like, look, at the end of the day, you can have your own scouting department. You can have your own people run it. But sometimes when somebody's this accurate, these are questions you bring up. Hey, what about this guy on this list? What about this person? Why? Oh, we need some DBs. Why aren't we looking at an Ennis Rakestraw? You know, why aren't we looking at insert player here? So kudos to him because that's tough.
Pretty darn good. This is pretty darn good, too. One of the guys that I think a lot of Lions fans, I know Tom Mazaway was really hoping would come to Detroit prior to the draft was Cooper DeJean, the defensive back from Iowa.
I saw this.
Did you see this video? Eagles general manager Howie Roseman was working the phones trying to move up to get Cooper DeJean. Take a listen to this.
So Washington is the first one where we have a chance at.
Okay, they have 2 picks, right?
Yeah, that's what.
How about Carolina?
Carolina is interested as we get closer. I don't want to do it now.
Oh, no, I understand.
Problem is, Chargers said no. Tennessee doesn't really have a great match for us because they don't have a third. For Carolina, 39 and 65 for 50 and 53, and I think we would have to add in 210 for 240. What I like about that is we don't fall too far back from our seconds too. You may not get us our first guy, but they wanted to get in yesterday too. Just someone keep an eye on my phone.
With that 35th pick, the Atlanta Falcons select Rook Aurora.
Hey, buddy. Good. Let me make sure my guy's there. What we got? I don't know if I'm going to be able to. All right, let's go to 40. He said, throw me back to 6, then we're good. But
So Rams are on the clock.
That's it.
That is it. Unfortunately.
The Carolina Panthers have traded the 39th pick to the Los Angeles Rams. Oh, with the 39th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Los Angeles Rams select Brandon Fisk, Florida State D tackle.
All right, 50, 53, 161 for 40, 78, and 150. All right, call down. Appreciate it. And I think that's what makes the draft so interesting and so much fun is that you don't know how everyone else sees things. You know, we know how we see things, and you get into your own head where you're going, everyone's got to see it the same way, but it never works out that way. And I think that's what makes it just an amazing 3 days, 3 nights of fun and a great opportunity to improve this team. Cooper, Howie Roseman, brother. You're an Eagle. Let's go. You sat way too long. Yeah, we can't wait to get you here. We're all really excited. It's going to be great, man. We're going to have a lot of fun together.
How about that? Is that interesting or what? Howie Roseman and the Eagles trying to figure out a trade where they could get up to draft Cooper DeJean. At the last second, the Rams trade in front of them with Carolina, and Howie Roseman thinks they're trading up to get their Cooper DeJean. They don't, and that's when you heard the, let's go. They ultimately make the trade up next and get their guy, Cooper DeJean. If that's not conviction on who you want to be in your organization, on your football team, that's pretty darn good. I do love that. I love that.
Yeah, it's very reminiscent of when the Jacksonville Jaguars drafted Trayvon Walker instead of Aiden Hutchinson. You saw the response from
Penei Sewell as
Penei
well.
Sewell. He got past the Cincinnati Bengals. He drafted Jamar Chase. But before we talk about Howie Roseman and how great he is at his job, did you see Andre Rison make the pick? Andre Rison, Bad Moon Rising, like he's one of the funniest guys of all time. He was telling us this story, but the whole time we're riding the bus, so we take a shuttle over from the Western Brook Cadillac, take a shuttle over to the draft area where it was set up in Campus Marshes. he's practicing his pick because he was like, and with the 51st pick, okay, I like that. And then with the 51st pick, he was just trying in a bunch of different ways. Shout out to my boy Dre, Bad Moon Rising. But you say what you want to about Harry Roseman, he gets it right, man. Like, you see his process, you see his energy. He's got the numbers and where he needs to go to get the players that he wants. He's drafted well. I mean, you look at the Eagles draft over the past 3 years, it's been darn good.
Yeah.
Darn good to the tune 2 years ago to get to the Super Bowl game. And also the free agent moves. But just to be in that room and see this is how it works and that electricity and, almost got to play it, dang, we didn't get it, and thinking that, because what if they take Cooper DeJean? Now, how do you rebuttal? Now, how do you rework the process? Now, what do you do? What's your second ace in the hole? So it's fun to watch, man. It's crazy.
And honestly, as a player, Braylon, if you are Cooper DeJean, if you're Penei Sewell, and I'm just talking about some of the images when you know that room is erupting because they get to take you. Yeah. If you're, but just in this instance, if you're Cooper DeJean and you see this video and you know what this team did to draft you, that's got to make you feel some kind of way.
Yeah, 100%. Like when I got drafted in 2005, Romeo Crennel, first-year head coach, obviously coached with Bill Belichick, who's defensive coordinator for those Patriots' first 3 championships, and then the Giants. Like, he's a defensive guy. He's a defensive guy. It's a new team. You know, he wants a defensive player, offensive line, and something to that tune. When I walked in there, it didn't seem like a lot of excitement. I told you, Randy Lerner, who was the owner, was the guy that wanted me there. Phil Savage and Romeo Crennel, maybe not so much. But to be able to see it now on full display, they weren't necessarily showing you the rooms like that and the excitement. Now they're showing you, so you as a player, you know, oh, yeah, I'm going to a franchise that rocks with me. I know I keep bringing this up, whether it's the money aspect thing of it or whether it's this, when you're seeing players get a chance to see owners and GMs and presidents and coaches get excited. It just does something to you, Ryan. Like, it just makes you really want to play with that team because you get nervous leaving college. It's like, what's the atmosphere going to be like? Like, let's say I'm leaving Cooper DeJean. He's leaving Iowa. He's comfortable at Iowa. Kirk Ferentz, his brother, his son, it's been in place forever. You love the environment. This is very comfortable. I know this place. Where am I going to go on the draft? What city? I don't know this city. I don't know these people. But when you see that, it's like, okay, cool. It's just going to be like college all over again, so I like it.
And you'll love this as well. Keon Coleman, in his pre-draft interview with the Buffalo Bills. Take a look at this.
Okay. What do you do outside of football?
Chill at the house, golf, bowl a little bit.
You golf?
I ain't no golf. I'm Tiger. Wish he could. I'm not Tiger Woods. Now. I wish I could putt and do all that. Them boys out there shooting 5 under. I ain't doing all that. I'm like TV 5 to hit just to put it in. But I'm gonna go have fun. Like, you know, it's controlled chaos. You know, you frustrated, but you can't get mad. Pull a muscle in your back trying to hit the ball. So it forces me to stay calm and just swing. Just have some fun.
Ever since he left Michigan State, I've been a fan of Keon Coleman. You saw the catch last year, the one-hander over the middle. You saw the first game of the year against LSU. But things like this is how you endear yourself to a franchise. One of the things I didn't necessarily pay attention to, Ryan, like early on in Cleveland, is I didn't necessarily pay attention to making everyone my friend. Like, you know, having that I guess you could say that vulnerability or just like that coolness, just the openness, if you will. I was, hey, look, so we can go out here, I'm gonna work hard, do my job, and get out of there. I was so connected to my family and my friends and trying to get in and out. He's endearing himself, you know, to the coaches. He's endearing himself to the staff. You never know how that might benefit you or help you later. I mean, look at all the coaches on this coaching staff. Those are players that when they were players, they were learning the ins and outs. They made friends, and that's why years later they get an opportunity to be a head coach. So a smart move by him, but I like him. I think he's going to do well.
It's a player that kind of goes in there and he's like, you know what, I'm just going to make a decision that I'm just going to be myself.
100%.
I'm not going to pretend like I'm anybody that I'm not. And you saw that a little bit during the press conference, at his introductory press conference with the yellow jacket. And they're like, what kind of jacket is that? He's like, it's a Kohl's or whatever it was.
He said, you don't remember I was in Michigan for 2 years.
Yeah, right.
He said, went to Michigan State for 2 years. Or Xavier Legette, the guy with the heavy Southern draw, the wide receiver at the interview. And I was just like, he's that heavy Southern draw. Some people are just authentic to who they are. And those people tend to have the best success in sports or in life.
I think you're right about that. And if you're going to go to a place like Buffalo, too, just hardcore fan, they could sniff out a fake a mile away.
Yeah.
And even and they can appreciate a good deal too. I mean, he's talking about the cost of his coat. It wasn't some like $2,000 coat. He's like, I got this for $80.
100%.
It's a good deal.
That's how you connect to the fan base.
Absolutely. And, he's a college kid, which college kids aren't getting paid what they used to get paid, but nonetheless.
That's why I was pissed at that whole press conference when I got to Cleveland. Like, the first thing they talk about is the Bentley coupe. Like, that rubbed fans the wrong way. So you're kind of behind the 8 ball off the get-go.
Right.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, no chance. Do you think he's going to be any good? Like, I know we like him.
Yeah.
But doesn't he need somebody else? It's real hard for a rookie to come in and be that guy. I mean, I don't want to say he's not Jamar Chase, but I don't think he is Jamar Chase or Justin Jefferson or somebody like that can come in and play Pro Bowl caliber wide receiver level and take their teams, Minnesota or Cincinnati, to the next level.
But here's the thing. For the last 7 years, haven't people been telling me Josh Allen's supposed to be this world beater of a quarterback? Haven't people been...
Every quarterback needs a wide receiver.
Understood. And he's got Xavier Legette. He also has Dalton Kincaid, who is, for some, the number 1 tight end in last year.
Wait, they got Legette and... No.
No, they got Dalton Kincaid last year. The tight end.
Yeah.
Dalton Kincaid last year. They got him. He was supposed to be the number 1 tight end over Laporta, over Michael Mayer, who, by the way, the Las Vegas Raiders, they drafted Brock Bowers after drafting Michael Mayer in the first round last year.
Crazy.
Anyway, getting back on point. But Josh Allen's supposed to be his quarterback. Look, I need to see it out of you. If I'm if I'm Keon Coleman, I'm excited to be playing with Josh Allen.
Sure.
Then you get Dalton Kincaid. Then you have Joe Moore, who actually was pretty good last year with the offensive play calling once they fired Ken Dorsey, who had to get the heck up out of there. And then you still have they brought in the wide receiver number 10, their speed guy. You need somebody, but if I'm Keon Coleman, I'm licking my chops because I get a chance to be drafted in the second round but come in and be a number 1 from day one, and it's Josh Allen. Man, look, I came into the league. I would love to have come in the league with Josh Allen.
They got Curtis Samuel.
He's a player.
Khalil Shakir.
That's what I'm talking about.
Chase Claypool.
Chase is he's a head case.
Right.
But Shakur's fast wild. That's number 10. That's who I was talking about. But it's something there. I think Keon Coleman is going to be a much better than he dropped because he had some drops in the combine in his workout, no pun intended. But yeah,
James Cook at running back. I don't know, man.
They need another. I mean, they need someone. They need another player.
Right.
100%, I agree with that. But James Cook, when they did slow it down, start giving the ball a little bit more last year, he played some meaningful snaps, if you will.
Guys, Raheem Morris and Terry Fontenot, the head coach and general manager of the Atlanta Falcons, apparently like themselves some Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce.
It's what people want to see. Is pique more interest. I feel like, what's Kelsey's girlfriend name? I feel like her right now, just based off. I'm Taylor Swift right now, and Terry's Kelsey, I guess. So, I mean, we're making this thing popular, man. I don't know what that is, man.
What are we doing? He's tired, guys. He's getting tired.
So let me rephrase. He doesn't like them. He feels like them.
Yeah. It's funny because we call him Tweedledee and Tweedledum after, well, at least I did. I'll take credit for it. Call him Tweedledee and Tweedledum after the draft. Just how they looked on the podium. Not necessarily the move of drafting Penix, but how they looked on the podium. I heard something, Ryan, I want to run this by you as it relates to these two. Sometimes you have a plan, and then this is what was said about their pick of Michael Penix. And I told you, I don't think Kirk Cousins ever sees a snap in Atlanta. That's just my that's my take, if you will. But sometimes if something's there and you did not think it was there, this is life in general. Don't you just kind of say, you know what? We got to take a chance on this. Like, they didn't expect Michael Penix to be there. It's kind of like buying a house early.
He was a second-round pick up until a week ago, so he was going to be there.
But maybe your views have changed. Yeah. Maybe you've always liked him. Maybe this is a player that they've always liked. Maybe this is a player no one talked about if they liked him or not when they made that pick. It's just, why would you draft him this high? Maybe they liked him, and because of the chatter of the week, maybe they feel like they should make a move on him. It's something they really wanted, and you figure everything else out.
Yeah, I heard a comparison today as well about, Tom Brady didn't like it when Jimmy Garoppolo was brought in. Brett Favre didn't like it when Aaron Rodgers was brought in. Aaron Rodgers didn't like it when Jordan Love was brought in. But what is the I appreciate those comparisons, but I think there's a major difference. I think for all those teams, whether it was New England or Green Bay the first time with Favre or Green Bay the second time with Aaron Rodgers, those teams did feel like they were one player away from a Super Bowl. And I know there's no such thing as one player away from a Super Bowl, but when you are so close to a Super Bowl, and I don't think Atlanta is that close to a Super Bowl.
No.
But when you feel you are so close to a Super Bowl, it is hard to imagine that you're going to use that pick on somebody that's not going to help you achieve that goal right now on day one. And I think if you're Atlanta, either be in go for it mode, pay your quarterback $100 million and go for it.
Yeah.
Or be in rebuilding mode and save yourself $100 million and draft your quarterback.
But also, here's those conversations that we're not privy to, Ryan. Here's those conversations that they don't tell us about. Here's those conversations that they act like don't happen. Between the doctor and the coach, the team doctor and the GM, the team doctor and the owner. And what if that team doctor down there with the Atlanta Falcons is telling the owner, Arthur Blank, is telling the GM, is Fontenot, is telling Raheem Morris, Kirk Cousins ain't going to be ready. And I use aim for effect. Kirk Cousins is not going to be ready. I don't see in Kirk Cousins a guy that's going to come here and tear it up and you guys are going to win the NFC South. Maybe a little bit behind. May not be the guy again. What if you're getting this information and this is why you make a move? This is why not being privy to the war room, not being privy to those conversations gets us speculating, trying to figure out why the hell Michael Penix was drafted when you just paid Kirk Cousins $100 million in guaranteed money, $180 over the deal.
Fair enough. Guys, we'll go around the NFL. We'll go through some news and notes, including a new home for Odell Beckham Jr. We'll do that next. But first, a message from Wake Up Woodward.
That's right, everybody. Monday through Friday mornings, 8 to 10 a.m. right here on Woodward Sports. You can watch Wake Up Woodward with Sam Flannel, Kenny G, JB, Kool-Aid, and of course the great Matt Broder. They break down all the morning sport news for you. Again, this Monday through Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. Wake Up Woodward right here on Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports. We will be right back.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
The most convenient place to get that big fitness energy?
It's Planet Fitness.
Join today for just $1 down, $10 a month. With over 2,400 locations and equipment for every workout, you can get in, get energized, and get going. And with free fitness training and most clubs open 24 hours, everyone belongs in the judgment-free zone. So join today for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, cancel anytime.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports.
Any Lady Jane's haircuts for men and claim your throne for a king's treatment from one of our talented stylists. Open 7 days a week, walk in anytime. Just get to a Lady Jane's today and receive a precision haircut, scalp massage, hot lather neck shave, and a hot towel treatment. A haircut should not be a chore. It should be an experience. And that's exactly what Lady Jane's has to offer. Open 7 days a week, walk-ins are always welcome. There's always a location near you. Lady Jane's haircuts for men, it's wicked awesome.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Thank you to the Detroit Lions and Sheila Ham for the best season in Lions history. Now it's time to let Brad Holmes cook. Woodward Sports.
Hey, welcome back, Woodward Sports Network. Want to get Braylon's thoughts on this one. The Dolphins and Odell Beckham Jr. have agreed to a contract pending a physical. Odell took less money. He had bigger money offers from other NFL teams, but took less money from Miami to sign with the Dolphins.
Well, the one reason he took less money is because it's Florida. We know Florida doesn't have what, Ryan Ermanni?
State income tax.
There you go. So that Amon-Ra St. Brown contract will look a little different if he was playing for the Dolphins. But obviously, too, you saw he still has it. He still has the ability. He's not a 1 anymore, maybe not a 2 anymore. They have Waddle, who is a darn good receiver, a nice compliment to arguably the best wide receiver in the league, arguably the best offensive weapon. Maybe he and Christian McCaffrey are 1 and 2 in Tyreek Hill. You put him as a 3. You give, I can't think of the quarterback's name for it.
Tua
Tagovailoa. It's been a minute since I said his name.
Yeah,
there we
right.
go. We're back in the building. But you give Tua another wide receiver that understands spacing, that understands short routes. That's why that's their offense. They get the ball out fast. So I think this is a good move for Odell. It's a really good move for Mike McDaniel in their offense. But then also, too, if I'm Odell, after you go to Cleveland, Ryan, there's one thing that you tell yourself. I'm never going to another city that's like Cleveland. Cleveland is the most mundane, boring, horrible city as it relates to living there and playing there. So you're like, if you look at the cities, got drafted to New York, he went to Cleveland, went to Los Angeles, went to Baltimore, which is, it's big, it's fun, good seafood.
Right.
But now it's Miami. Miami is a turn-up city, it's a turn-up town. Odell's a big personality. This makes sense, especially now. Last time you brought up Odell's name, you and Maz hated him because of the New York Giants went to Miami before that Packers playoff
That's
game,
right.
and they got waxed.
Now
So
he
it's
could
interesting.
Now he could just stay in Miami.
That may not be good. I made it talk myself out of it.
Another wide receiver, former Lion. DJ Chark, I wanted to ask about. DJ Chark, it's a 1-year, $5 million deal with the Chargers. Jim Harbaugh sees something in this guy. Low risk, prove it deal. Not much money. You got a little something left in the tank. Big target. What do you make of this?
$5 million isn't a lot for a receiver that last year was a $10 million receiver, or the year before that was a $10 million receiver here with the Detroit Lions, upwards of 12 if he would have been able to fulfill out his contract. So it's not a bad move. You got a guy that's a big receiver. He is fast. He can make that highlight play, if you will. He can get you down the field. That's what you need if you're the Chargers. You're trying to shore up the offensive line. You're trying to change the game. Give Herbert another weapon at that spot. So for $5 million, I do not mind. He's still it's something left in his game.
You mentioned former Lions Quintez Cephas. He has signed with the Buffalo Bills. We talk about the Buffalo Bills wide receiving core, Chase Claypool as well. So Quintez Cephas, I like Quintez Cephas. He served a year suspension because of the gambling last year. I think that kid's got some talent, and I'm rooting for him in Buffalo.
Rooting for him. When he was at Wisconsin, I was a big fan of his, man. Like, there's two type of wide receivers. You got guys that catch with their hands, and you got guys that catch with their body. Quintez Cephas was a guy that caught the ball away from his body. He was a good wideout. He was the number one wideout for the Lions in 2021 until he got hurt, and then Amon-Ra St. Brown obviously took over and took his spot. So happy for him. He served his time. So let's see what he has.
Justin Fields. Is he going to be a punt returner for the Pittsburgh Steelers? Talk about Justin Fields being used on special teams as a punt returner. They are going to try to figure out how to get him on the field at the same time. As a punt returner, I don't know if I go that route, but nonetheless, they're going to get him on the field.
All right, I'm going to leave you with this, Ryan Ermanni. This would be idiotic for Justin Fields to even consider this. And I understand it's about the greater good of the team. He's not necessarily making a ton of money. But, Ryan, he is a quarterback. He got drafted in the first round to play quarterback. He had flashes, and he showed you when he was in Chicago what he was able to do, what he may be capable of. You brought him in, you gave him a mentor, and Russell Wilson, let him be mentored. Because at the end of the day, when you're designing runs for a quarterback, i.e. Lamar Jackson, i.e. Josh Allen, i.e. Justin Fields, it's one thing. But when you're putting him back there as something that he hasn't done maybe since high school or maybe Little League, and you're asking him not to get hurt but give you some yards and do something, for him, you're asking for a recipe for disaster, because all it takes is one of those hits. All it takes is, and I know people say he can hit running the ball. He's not a punt returner. He came in this league to be a quarterback. If I was him, I wouldn't touch this with a 10-foot pole. Stay as a quarterback. Learn that quarterback position. Because if you're not a starter in this league, Ryan Ermanni, you know what you could be, which is the best job in pro sports. Is a backup quarterback. He could be a backup quarterback. You get hurt out there, you separate your shoulder, you do something idiotic on a team that you shouldn't be on. Now you can't even be a backup quarterback for 10 years like Charlie Batch, who made a ton of money, won a Super Bowl, and endeared himself to the Pittsburgh community. I wouldn't do it. Speaking of the devil, Pittsburgh.
Right, preserved his body too. As
He's
a
walking
backup
around
quarterback.
just fine.
Right, no doubt.
Don't be
about it.
Cordell Stewart.
Absolutely. T. Higgins, by the way, you talk about people's money. How about T. Higgins? This is why he wants to be a number one receiver. This is why he wants to get out of Cincinnati, and I don't blame him. He was looking for a contract in the range of 3 years, $70 million. The Bengals never even approached that number of an annual salary of $20 million during negotiations, and I don't blame him. When you talk about the business of football, okay, these players have become their own individual business. It happened, 20, 25 years ago? I mean, that's really when these guys started getting paid just money like crazy. When you see a guy like Amon-Ra St. Brown get $30 million a year, and you are T. Higgins, and you absolutely believe that you are in that caliber of a wide receiver, you want to get in a space where you can showcase that talent. You're not going to be able to showcase that talent as a number 2 wide receiver. You do it as a number 1 wide receiver.
If I'm doing my math right, that's somewhere in the ballpark of $23 million a year, give or take, and some change behind that. Christian Kirk got paid $24.5. You can't tell me on anybody's team Christian Kirk is a better wide receiver than T. Higgins. If I was T. Higgins, I'd go for it too.
Love you, Bray. I know you gotta hit a time thing, so we appreciate you. Just a couple of more minutes left. If you'll stick with me here, guys. T. Higgins, Christian Kirk. Why did he get that money? Because he went somewhere else. He did not get that in Arizona. He got that with Jacksonville to go be a number 1 receiver there. It's one of those things where I don't blame these guys. They don't want to play second fiddle. He certainly doesn't want to be number 2 to Jamar Chase. It's got nothing to do with Cincinnati, got nothing to do with Jamar Chase, nothing to do with Joe Burrow or the city of Cincinnati or the Bengals organization. He just wants to go get his money. I find nothing wrong with this. Very good. Michael Irvin, there were mass layoffs today at the NFL Network. And after 20-plus years, Michael Irvin was one of the cap casualties, so to speak, at the NFL Network. A number of players or a number of people lost their jobs today. We think about them in the industry. Never a good day. They're actually getting rid of NFL Total Access. That show has been completely wiped out on the NFL Network as well. So Michael Irvin, one of the bigger names that has lost his job due to cutbacks in the salary situation there at the NFL Network. Total Access gone as well. Guys, want to mention the Tigers. They had the day off yesterday. They are now in New York to face the Yankees, and I'm really, really struggling with this situation, with it being off Comcast, because could I afford $20 a month to watch on Bally Sports Plus? Yes, I could afford it. Do I feel a responsibility to you to watch the Tigers nightly? Yes, I do. But it might not be some time before I pull the trigger on that. It is something about, there is some principle that I am just not comfortable with. I feel like these leagues, these television networks, these companies, they're just screwing fans. And it's not good for anybody. And I just don't know when I eventually will break down. I'm sure of it. I'll eventually break down. That time is not today. I hate to not be able to watch the New York Yankees and the Detroit Tigers play, but I'm not going to watch tonight's game. I'll reevaluate. Maybe I'll get it tomorrow. But I don't anticipate I'll get it tomorrow because of all the other things that are happening right now. As long as the NBA playoffs and the NHL playoffs and the Kentucky Derby, and I like watching NASCAR on Sundays, it's a guilty pleasure of mine. As long as all these things are happening, specifically the NBA and NHL playoffs, as long as there's a game on every single night that I can watch, when those things are over, maybe I will get this app. But everything I hear about this app, it stinks. It's not done It doesn't work. You have to restart it every 10 minutes. The quality is poor. So that alone, too, is making me not want to spend $20 a month.
Can I add one thing in here
Please.
real quick, Ryan? Maz and I split the MLB Network package where we can watch all the games, and they still have this like 1970s blackout rule, and where I can't even watch. Why can't they offer me and Maz like pay $50 extra and you get the Tigers, in your hometown? I don't understand why they're just absolutely screwing everybody, like you said. It makes no sense.
I have the MLB TV package.
Right.
And I didn't realize when I got it that you couldn't watch your home
You can't watch
team.
your own team. Why can't they offer you
Now,
pay an extra $50?
I was in Florida on a family vacation during Tigers opening day, and I wanted to watch the Tigers play. And I was like, you know what? Start of the season, I'm going to get this, and I could watch the Tigers anywhere. I was able to watch the Tigers because I was in Florida. But when I got home and I tried to watch it on the app, you cannot watch it. It's a blackout rule. I agree with you. Some of these rules, broadcast rules, are completely antiquated with the times that we're in. And everybody that's in the chat right now that's talking about this is saying how bad Bally Sports Plus app is. I've had Bally's app since October. Never had a problem. It always worked. Oh, so that's Jeff reviews. Low Mill says the Bally Sports app still sucks. Steven says the Bally's app is one of the worst from a user perspective. So at least 3-1 here in the chat that says that the app is no good. Tigers Radio isn't going anywhere, Ryan. We'll all relax with Dan. Yeah, I mean, we're blessed to have Dan Dickerson as the play-by-play voice of the Tigers. Stream East, I've seen a couple of people talk about that. Anthony Cantu says Stream East. I wish I could pay for a service that gave me all Detroit professional sports. You will get that one day. That day is not today. Guys, that's going to be it for this week. We will see you on Monday. For Braylon Edwards, Tom Mazaway, Pete Spivak, and Silent Mike, I'm Ryan Ermanni. Pete, who's your winner in the Kentucky Derby tomorrow?
Just
one
a
more
touch,
time.
sir. Just a touch.
Just a touch.
Yes, sir.
All right. We will see you on Monday. Bye-bye.
Have a good one.